I like turtles. I like turtles. I like turtles. I like turtles.
Dave? What exactly are you doing?
Oh, nothing. I'm just practicing to be the next I like turtles guy.
Well, aren't you a bit old for that?
What? What? I'm only 14. Was that your eyes rolling?
Using TouchID or FaceID with VoiceOver. I'm super excited to cover this next topic. It's like being a spy with a secret identity. Oh, or even Nancy Drew looking around for fingerprints. A bit much? Okay. I still think you'll be impressed, regardless. And Ellie will help me cover the basics, and then Mr. Brian will do some finger work for us. Right? Let's get the basics started. Remember, we'll do our work in this lesson using the Settings app, so get that open right off. Once in the Settings app, navigate down to the Touch ID and passcode option. For those of you with a newer iPhone, this will say Face ID and passcode. The reason why we have these two options depends on your type of iPhone and whether you have a home button or not. On iPhone SE models, like we use for first aid for the blind, this home button area also acts as a fingerprint reader. Pro tip: it is very important to remember that when our devices are looking to scan our fingerprints, that we do not press the home button. Doing this will activate the home screen action and could cause you to leave your current screen or area. When our device is looking for our fingerprint, all we need to do is lightly rest our finger on the home button and your phone will take care of the rest.
So Amelia, what's the big deal about Touch ID and Face ID anyway? I mean, aren't they just ways to unlock your phone?
Oh, Ellie, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Sure, unlocking your phone is the most obvious use, but these tools are way more versatile than that. Touch ID and Face ID can verify your identity in a variety of situations, saving you from typing in passwords or fumbling for passcodes. Let's start with unlocking your phone. With Touch ID, you simply rest your registered finger on the sensor, the home button. For Face ID, all you need to do is look at your screen, and the iPhone uses a combination of camera features to verify that it is really you. VoiceOver announces when authentication is successful, so there's no guessing. Remember, if we turn on our phone or restart it, neither Touch ID nor Face ID will unlock our phone. This is a security feature from Apple, so you will need to enter your passcode to unlock your device. This is one reason why we need to have a passcode when we enable Touch ID or Face ID. This also happens whenever your phone has a moment and doesn't recognize your fingerprint or facial features for whatever reason. Pro tip: if you're using Touch ID, make sure your finger is clean and dry. Damp fingers can confuse the sensor faster than David trying to be the I like turtles guy.
Nicely done. What about apps? Can I use Touch ID or Face ID with those?
Absolutely. Many apps that involve sensitive information, like banking or password managers, let you use Touch ID or Face ID to log in. This saves you from typing long, complex passwords. Imagine opening your banking app. VoiceOver says, Face ID, and boom, you're in. No fumbling, no stress. Pro tip: when setting up Face ID, try to do it in good lighting and keep your glasses on if you wear them regularly. The system learns to recognize you with and without accessories.
What about shopping? Can I skip entering my password every time I buy something?
Oh, you sure can. With Apple Pay, Touch ID, and Face ID make purchases a breeze. When you're at a store, 1. Hold your phone near the card reader. VoiceOver will announce payment ready. 2. For Touch ID, rest your finger lightly on the sensor. 3. For Face ID, double press the side button and glance at the screen. VoiceOver will confirm when the payment is complete. It's like being in a sci-fi movie, but with groceries. Pro tip: set up your default card in Apple Wallet to make the process even faster. You can always switch cards with a few swipes, but having your go-to card ready saves time.
What about the App Store? Does it work there too?
Oh, it absolutely does. Gone are the days of typing your Apple ID password every time you download an app. When you're ready to purchase or download something, VoiceOver prompts you to use TouchID or FaceID. It's quick, secure, and convenient. Pro tip: make sure you allow your iPhone to use TouchID or FaceID on one, unlocking your phone. This saves time so you don't need to enter your passcode each time your phone goes to sleep. 2. iTunes and App Store. Whenever you need to authorize purchasing an app, this saves time so you don't need to enter your Apple ID password. 3. Contactless payment. Use this option to make payments directly from your phone so you don't need to dig out your cash, debit, or credit card.
Wow, that's a real time saver. What happens if Touch ID or Face ID doesn't work?
Good question. If your device can't verify you for some reason, like wet fingers for Touch ID or wearing a mask with Face ID, it falls back to your passcode. That's why it's critical to set up a passcode during the initial setup. Pro tip: if you find Face ID struggling with masks, you can enable the Face ID with mask feature in settings. It focuses on authenticating around your eyes.
I could resume my career as a crime fighter if I could wear my mask while using Face ID.
Here's a fun one. Did you know you can use Touch ID and Face ID for autofill? When filling out forms or logging into websites in Safari, VoiceOver will announce Face ID or Touch ID, and once authenticated, it autofills the fields for you. It's such a time saver. Pro tip: make sure Keychain is enabled in iCloud settings to store your password securely and make autofill possible. Now, before we wrap up, let's talk about how to set these up. If you're using Touch ID, you'll place your finger on the home button repeatedly while VoiceOver guides you through the setup. It might feel like a little finger dance, but once it's done, you'll thank yourself every time you unlock your phone or approve a purchase. For Face ID, you'll follow the on-screen instructions to move your head in a circle. VoiceOver will tell you if you need to adjust. And don't worry, it's not a dance audition, it's just making sure it captures all the angles of your face. Pro tip: for Touch ID, register multiple fingerprints, like both thumbs and your index fingers. That way, you're covered no matter which hand is free.
And we can do this without any help?
Yep, we sure can. Mr. Brian will demonstrate this later in the lesson.
This all sounds amazing. But what about privacy? Is this data stored somewhere else?
Another great question. Apple keeps all Touch ID and Face ID data securely on your device. It's stored in something called the Secure Enclave, and it never leaves your phone. That means your biometric data isn't floating around in the cloud. It's yours and yours alone. Pro tip: even if you sell or give away your phone, doing a factory reset ensures your biometric data is wiped from the Secure Enclave. And there you have it. With Touch ID and Face ID, your iPhone becomes not just smarter, but also way more secure and convenient. From unlocking your phone to shopping, banking, and autofill, these tools are like your personal gatekeepers. Go ahead and try setting these up. Once you do, you'll wonder how you ever lived without them. See you next time. Now you're all set to use Touch ID and Face ID like a pro. Just don't get too carried away with your secret agent moves. I don't want to hear anyone got caught in the grocery store whispering, "Mission accomplished," after using Apple Pay. Pro tip for fun: if you ever forget your passcode, well, maybe don't forget your passcode. Otherwise, you'll be spending quality time with Apple support. And with that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Fingers.
Mr. Fingers reporting for duty, here to show off Touch ID and Face ID, a couple feature that us humans really love for security purposes and generally making life easier. Hey, Amelia, can I see your finger?
I heard that.
Oh yeah, we can't use her for this part, can we? I guess that's why I got the name Mr. Fingers. All right, so we're going to start here in the Settings app. and I'm going to navigate to Touch ID and passcode.
Touch ID and passcode button. Secure text field is editing. Character mode. Insertion point at start.
So I'm sure the keypad has popped up on the screen, but I'm going to use handwriting so you guys don't hear my code.
Handwriting. Lowercase, uppercase, numbers. Settings. Back button.
Every time you go into this section, you'll have to put in your passcode. That's a security feature. All right, so in this area, we're going to look at making sure that we have 3 settings turned on.
Touch ID and passcode. iPhone unlock. Switch button. On. iTunes and App Store. Switch button. On. Contactless and payments. Switch button. On.
Great. And now we go down to the area where we've got some different fingerprints already stored on the phone.
Fingerprints. Heading. Finger 2. Button. Finger 3. Button. Finger 4. Button. Finger 5. Button. Finger 1. Button.
And you can tell I've got 5 fingerprints saved on my phone. So I'm going to go ahead and delete one here real quick. I'm going to delete the one called finger number 1. So I'm going to activate it.
Finger 1. Text field.
And I'm going to start flicking to the right.
Clear text. Button. Delete fingerprint. Button.
And activate that.
Finger 4. Button.
Now I can locate a button to add a fingerprint.
Finger 5. Add a fingerprint. Button.
And I'll go ahead and activate that.
So cancel. Button. Place your finger. Heading.
And I'm going to flick through here to show you guys what's on the screen.
Lift and rest your finger on the home button repeatedly. A fingerprint that changes color during the setup process. Recognition is 0% complete. Image.
All right, so now I'm going to use my right thumb here, and I'm just going to bring it over top of the home button and lightly rest it upon it and listen for the instructions from the phone.
Lift your finger. Place your finger. Lift your finger. Place your finger. Lift your finger. Place your finger.
Each time I'm doing this,
lift your finger.
I get a
Place
little
your
haptic
finger.
buzz.
Lift your finger. Place your finger. Alert. Cover home button completely.
You'll get that error message from time to time. Just flick through the screen and find the OK button.
Try to cover the OK button. A fingerprint that changes color during the setup process. Recognition is 96% complete. Image.
And then get one last attempt.
Keep going to capture the edges of your print.
And that is letting us know that we're on stage 2. I'm going to flick through here and find the continue button.
About Touch ID and privacy. Button. Continue. Button. Place your finger. Lift and rest the edge of your finger on the home button repeatedly.
Now the device is looking for the edges of the finger. So I'm going to go more around the perimeter of that same finger as I allow the device to scan. So I'm going to start here on the outer edge on the left and then work around towards the tip and then work my way around to the right. Getting not necessarily the edge of the finger, but more of the perimeter of the pad of the finger. So again, I'm going to start and listen to the instructions on the phone here.
Lift your finger. Place your finger. Lift your finger. Place your finger. Lift your finger. Place your finger. Lift your finger. Place your finger.
And I generally tried to divide my finger into 5 little sections and try to get each one of those sections as I work my array around the perimeter. And then after that, it gives me the complete message.
Complete. Heading. Touch ID is ready. Your print can be used for unlocking your iPhone. A fingerprint that changes color during the setup process. Recognition is 100% complete. Image. Continue. Button.
And then we find the continue button.
Continue. Touch ID is ready. Finger 2. Button.
And now if I go through this list, it should show us that we now have finger 1 again.
Finger 3. Finger 4. Finger 5. Finger 1. Button.
And there's finger 1. And you can rename those as well. Once that's set up, then you can use Touch ID for a lot of those other activities, unlocking your phone. If you go to the App Store and you want to authorize a purchase, you can use it for entering your password. You can use it for unlocking certain apps like banking apps and things like that. Coming up next, I'll do a brief demonstration on how we can set up Face ID for those that have that capability on their phones. Okay, so let's go through the steps of setting up Face ID. I've already opened the page here in settings, and I'm going to navigate down through this page until I get to this spot here.
iPhone can recognize the unique, three-dimensional features of your face to allow secure access to apps and payments. About Face ID and privacy, link.
One swipe past that,
Set up Face ID, button.
and activate.
Cancel, button. How to set up Face ID, heading. First, position your face in the camera frame. Then move your head in a circle to show all the angles of your face. Get started, button. Get started, dimmed. Position your face within the frame. Hold the device in front of your face at a distance of 10 to 20 inches.
All right, so I'm going to hold it out about arm's length in front of me and try and point the camera directly at my face.
Head positioned correctly. Starting first scan. Move your head slowly, 25% completed.
And now I'm gonna start to
38%
rotate.
completed. Turn your head right. 50% completed. Tilt your head up and to the right. 62% completed. Tilt your head up. 75% completed. Tilt your head down. 88% completed. Tilt your head down and to the right. 100% completed. Use Face ID with a mask, heading.
And through that whole process, I just waited for the instruction before I moved my head. That seems to work a lot better than just rotating my head around, just to wait for my phone to give me those instructions. Now I'm on a page where I can opt for mask. That's something that Ellie wants to do. I'm going to choose not to do that. I'm going to flick through here.
Face ID is most accurate when it's set up for full face recognition only. To use Face ID while wearing a mask, iPhone can recognize the unique features around the eye area to authenticate. About Face ID and privacy, button. Use Face ID with a mask. You won't need to wear a mask during setup, button. Don't use Face ID with a mask. You can set up later in settings, button.
And I'm going to choose that option.
Don't use Face ID with a mask. You can set up Face ID is now set up, heading.
And now we're back to Face ID being set up. I'm going to go through here and show you one more option here real quick.
Done, button. Done. Alert, Face ID and VoiceOver. Face ID has been set up to verify your identity but not require that you look at iPhone to authenticate. This can be changed in Face ID and passcode settings. OK, button.
This other feature that I'm going to talk about is attention. And this is where the phone requires the user to look directly at the camera to make sure that the phone has your attention. For some without vision at all, that can be a difficult process. So I'm going to actually make sure that that setting is turned off for now.
Attention, heading. Require attention for Face ID, switch button, off.
And for mine, I have that off. That's it for Face ID. Hope you enjoy.